chemistry of cooking. Okay, before I start, I can share some information here. When I recall my study in the US, it was a nightmare, especially the language barrier. It was really painful. But later, when I become a teacher, I found that there are a lot of software can do the automatic translation. I'm going to show you here. Why? It's so slow. Okay, here. For example, when I set the language from my language, traditional Chinese, and click translation, and we will see one paragraph in English and one in my language. That's one thing. Okay, let me switch to next one. If I select the language, oh, sorry, it's very, oh, okay. For example, the Japanese, click here and do a translation. Yep, one paragraph in English and one paragraph in the target language. Okay, and sure, most of you are from the IHP. Theoretically, you should use all English. But I know sometimes it's not the original language. Like me, I'm very good in scientific subjects, but I'm not good in language, including English. And if I select the language, if students from Indonesia, and I select, and the translation is Indonesian, like this. Sorry, I cannot do that. I cannot read it. Okay, and sure, remind me, I can give you this website about the I don't know, immersion translation, and the background is about. I select to use the Google Translation. Sure, if you pay for your translation, you can do that. But I didn't want to pay. That's I use the free service from Google Translation. One more. Oh, so I didn't see the Vietnam, but I Filipino. Okay. I don't think you need this kind of translation, but if you need in the future, you can do this. You can do this. Okay, I just share a tool. I'm not the person who created the tool. My friend shared this with me. Then I know. Okay, it's very powerful, and you can do that to accelerate your study. Okay, then let me move back to the English. Okay, then the chapters about this one is about the chemistry of cooking. Before we start, let's try to know the authors. The author is Sorengel, okay, and Rodriguez Vernaz. I don't have to read this. Vernaz Case. Melasky. Okay. So I don't know how to. Rodriguez is a very famous family name from Spain or somewhere. Okay, but I don't know how to read this. And as American University, and there are some chapters that check it. Chapter 1, thickening and concentrating flavors. Chapter 2, flour. Chapter 3, fat, sugar, leavening agent. For example, like the baking soda, like this. I don't think, personally, I don't think the yeast can be categorized as this one. It's different because the yeast is going the fermentation reaction. It's different from that one. Sure, if we have chance, if I got a budget, I will treat you as the tradition. I don't know how to say that. Okay, let me steam bun. Okay. Steamed bun. Okay, steamed bun is very popular in Taiwan. Look like this. A dough fermented with yeast. But sure, some manufacturer production they use the baking soda. Sure, if I have chance, I want to treat every one of you at least one steamed bun. So I have no idea about in your country. Do you eat this kind of stuff? So show. Can you type the name in your native language to the line group? Show. Okay. Do you any stuff inside? Meat?
Cat meat.
What is cat meat? Sorry, cat meat? Cat? G-A-T? Meow? Cat? C-A-T?
Oh, serious. Delicious. Yeah.
Cat? What strange country? Okay. There in Taiwan there are two kind of this one, but I believe different name. In our language we call steamed bun, mantou, but generally it's a plant flavor. But sure, we can use it mixed with the tora, or we can mix it with the sweet potato, different flavor. But as long as we put the salty or sweet stuff inside, we call it baozi. Very similar, but different shape, but different name. Sure, it is Taiwanese culture. Maybe some Taiwanese culture is heritage from Japanese, some from Chinese, different way. But I think you can from many breakfast store, you can buy this. Maybe 10, maybe 15, 20 or $25 per product. Okay, and if I have chance, maybe, but no promise because the supervisor didn't give me the budget yet. I don't know how to calculate that. But in the future, I can treat at least one student one bun here. But you can cut it into half and have the strawberry jam or some chocolate inside. Okay. Let's move to next. Flour, like this one. Next, about the dairy product, eggs, chocolate, and species. Spices. Oh yeah, sorry, spices. Yeah, you're right. Species is about the category from the biology. So thank you for the correction. Yeah, spices. You're right. Species is, for example, the biology category, one of the lowest way. For example, the cat and dog is different species, but cat and tiger very similar. Okay, thank you for reminder. Spices. Thank you for reminder. Okay, and let's move to the first chapter, thickening and concentrating flavors. Okay, and there are some sections. The first one, viscosity. Viscosity, very sticky, and thickening agents, type of thickening agents, and coagulation. Coagulation is actually in chemistry is very complicated, but in the kitchen it's easy. You just put everything together and heat it, then the solution, all the stuff become very sticky, Then we call coagulation. But the technology is very complicated. There are several ways. First one, coagulation from the heating polysaccharides, or that can be done adding some calcium iron. Okay, let's move to the first one. Viscosity. Let me copy and paste it here. Okay. Okay, here viscous means sticky, and the term viscosity refers to the way which the chocolate, I can see these words. Okay. Okay. Which the chocolate flows. Chocolate comes in various viscosities. Sure, because of the composition, the main composition in the chocolate is lipid, or we call it fat. It depends on the definition. And the confectioner choose the one of that is most appropriate to his or her needs. And sure, the higher the purity of the chocolate, the price is also going high. Depends on your choice, or how much you want to pay. The amount of cocoa butter in the chocolate is largely responsible for the viscosity level. And emulsifier is easy to explain. There is one stuff that can help lipid soluble materials mixed with water soluble materials. For example, when we eating the mayonnaise, the main composition is eggs, especially egg white. So egg yolk, vinegar, sugar, and some spices like this. It depends on your flavor, your preferences, and the lethargy can mix them together, because the lethargy, the compound, they have two properties. One, their hand can close to the lipid soluble material. The other hand, they can mix the water soluble material together. But can you give me an example? Every day you will touch it, they will have a similar function and similar property. One side close to the water soluble materials, the other side can close to the lipid soluble. Can you give me an example like this? Maybe food, maybe not food. That's the thing, is a kind of food. That's the thing. The property, the molecule has two kind of property. One close to the lipid soluble material, the other close to the water soluble material. Yeah, actually it did every day, several times a day, every day a week. Water, not water.
Sauce.
What?
Sauce.
Sauce? What kind of sauce? Soybean sauce? Or ketchup? Mayonnaise? mayonnaise is a mixture. Okay, let me say the answer. Very easy. Detergent, soap. When you wash your hands, soap can mix the one side close to the water-soluble materials, the other side close to the lipid-soluble. For example, if I touch some dirty, or I got grease, or I got the oil, my hands are really oily, I can use the soap or use the detergent to wash my hands. And meanwhile, the detergent can close and mix with the liquid on my hand. After I flush it, the large amount of water will bring those material away, because the soap, one side is liquid soluble, the other side is water soluble. Okay, and emulsifier is similar like this one. And could you guess what kind of material, what kind of food is very rich in emulsifier? Okay, just a reminder, low temperature, below 0 degrees Celsius. That is rich in emulsifier. Sure, it's a kind of food processing techniques, but also that is essential to get the kind of effect. Steam bun? No, steam bun maybe not. But some bread or toast, they add the emulsifier. Okay, low temperature, below the 0. That is very rich in emulsifier. Ice cream. Why? Why? Because the main component of the ice cream, dairy product. Oh, sorry, let me. Okay, generally, okay, the ingredients in the ice cream: heavy cream and milk, eggs, flavoring, cast-out style method. Okay, it depends on, but generally there are two. Actually, when you smell the ice cream, you can smell the butter, vanilla, something like this. Sure, I have a bag of vanilla powder upstairs in the room. Sure, you will eat it maybe in the future, several weeks later. And try to mix everything together. But you know, the butter, that is a lipid. About the other components, they are water soluble. How to make them together? If I got a cup of, for example, if I have a cup of ice cream, you don't want to see on the bottom there's water, on the top there's on the bottom there's liquid water, on the top there's butter. No, you want to see that. You need to mix them well, mix them. There's a failed product. Thus, they need an emulsifier. Sure, emulsifier is one of the food additives in the legal list. But personally, I like this one. As long as you enjoy the flavor from the ice cream, you need to know, okay, there are, I cannot say good or bad, there are a lot of emulsifier inside the ice cream. Then, okay, like emulsifier, like a lesser thing. Okay, I think most of you understand this term, right? Yeah, actually, I learned this when I was a college student. I didn't know that because I didn't know this term in English. But as long as when I was elementary school student, we know this term in our language, but we don't know the lesser thing this term until I learned when I was a college student. Okay, lesser thing is rich in compound in eggs or in soybean, and sure, it has some health benefit for human. This thing can help think out melted chocolate so it flows evenly and smoothly because it is less expensive than cocoa butter and thinning chocolate. It can be used to help lower the cost of chocolate. Okay, let me move here. Okay, molded pieces such as Eastern egg require chocolate of less viscosity. That is, chocolate should be somewhat running so easier to flow into the molds. Sure. I have no plan, but in the future, if I have enough time and budget, maybe we can melt the chocolate and pour into the mold during the class time. This is also the case of coating cookies and most cakes. And there is a thin, attractive, and protective coating is all that is needed. And somewhere thicker chocolate is advisable over things such as ganache. So I don't understand. Who can tell me what it is? Ganache. Or what's that? I don't know that. And flavoring of creams and fillings, and where enrollable machine to dip chocolate centers are used. Okay, let me have a short answer of this one. Because viscosity, what's the importance of this one? Viscosity. If we drink water, we don't expect the water is viscous because the water is very flow like this one. If I add the chocolate to my toast, I expect it's very sticky because the chocolate is very sticky and it flows very slow. And depends on different food, you expect different taste. Your taste from your tongue, your mouth. Okay. And chips, chalks, and other baking products. And here, let me show you that some high-quality chips have up to 65% chocolate liquid, but in practice, the liquid content over 40 tend to smear in baking. So the ratios defeat the purpose. But that's one hand. On the other hand, the price may determine what the material you use. And many manufacturers package their chips or chunks by count size, and this refers to how many pieces are there in 1 gram of the products. As the count of size number increases, the size of the chip gets smaller. With this information, you can choose the best size of the chip for the product you are producing. Okay, and other chocolate products available are chocolate sprinkles or hair used as decoration, and chocolate curls, rolls, and decorative. I don't know the turn shape. Let me move it. Oh, maybe shapes or something like it. For use of cakes and pastries, and chocolate sticks or buttons, which are often packed inside croissant. I heard about that. This is a kind of famous dish about what? Bread? Okay, thanks. I heard about it's a kind of dish from the Europe. Okay, let me move to next. And next, about the thickening agent. Yeah, maybe next time I can prepare some jelly. There are I bought 2 kinds of materials about the thickening agent. One is for vegetarian, and the other is from the extracted from the collagen. You know, collagen is cooked and extracted from the animal compound, animal composition. And okay, let me have a. Okay, let me finish this one. Then we can have a break here. Two types of thickening agents are recognized: starch and gums. Starch and gums. And starch, that is easy to do because we can burn starch. There are many types of starch. We just think about in our language we call it thickening. How can I say thickening starch? For example, you can eat this one. I don't know the term in English. Let me check here. One minute, please. Yeah, if you have a chance, I encourage you to eat this one because I don't know, maybe also omelette, and eggs and oysters, and the main thickener agent is potato starch. And to put the egg, fry the egg first, another deep fries. Just fry the eggs and fry the oyster, then pour a big spoon of sweet potato starch, and heat it. Then the starch very cloud because it is water insoluble. It is suspension, the powder suspension on the water, and heat it. After heat for a while, it becomes like a gum. It's very popular in the future. Later, I will copy and paste the English and Chinese name to our line group. I believe if you have chance, sorry, not simple for you, sorry, but I believe there are vegetarian foods that are similar like this. Or you can do it on your dorm, and you can eat this. But personally, I think the most important part of this one is not the oyster, is not the sweet potato starch, not the egg, but the sauce. Because the sauce is how can I say? It's the personal, I think, is the key point of this one. Because the sauce you can make it from the miso. Miso is Japanese style food made from fermented soybean. You can do that. Okay. Okay. Just 1 minute to finish our course. Any question? No. Okay. And please remind me on the night group. And as I promised, I will give you some website about the information. Sorry, I cannot explain very details in English. I will pass it to our night group. Okay. If no more question, 1 minute to finish our course, and see you next week. Okay. See you next time.